Hi guys, welcome to the Roadman Show. I'm Roadman, and with me he's
Jizzle here.
today on the show. We'll be diving into the entertainment world. There's a lot going on in the entertainment world today in Nigeria. But let's start up with our superstar, Black Bones and Odumodu Black. Jesus, yeah, I mean this has been going on for a couple of for a year now. If I'm not mistaken, this started up last year. And we all thought the whole thing has, been settled, after the whole, the boat got hit now, you know. But the recent thing that happened in London, the Spit saga, what do you have to say about that?
The whole saga is a very funny one, and you know, I don't think I quite remember how it all started up, but I think they had a beef, and they both dropped a beef song for each other, and
Yeah,
I think it was part of the reason that about Black Bones' last
Odumodu.
album.
Yeah,
So it was used to promote that album because he had a particular track there that was directly
for
taking
Odumodu.
a dig at Odumodu.
Yeah.
So it's been on, and this industry, the industry when it comes to the industry beef, it doesn't die down that easily. So
Yeah.
I think they brought it up literally recently about a few weeks ago, and the whole thing started. You know, it brought the hits, and they were both invited to the same
Yeah,
show.
it's all started up from 3:40. I
And
think it was
yeah.
they are both booking at the same time, 4 p.m.
I know. I think three p.m. and 2:30 p.m. was Black Bones
And it was
because
changed to
I
2:45, 3:45 thereabouts and all that.
so it was in Ojumudu had made a whole lot of tweets saying if he sees Black Bone one
But
on one.
do you think this is actually good for the culture? Oh, let's take an instance. Aside from the banter, all the social media, back and forth for promotions. Yeah. Now taking it to the stage, to the showing, going outside of Nigeria and seeing yourself, you know, where you guys should be celebrating each other, now spitting at each other. Do you think it's good for the culture?
Well, I would say that if it's good for the culture, all these beefs they have their own advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
These guys use these things, they promote themselves, and they're
Yeah.
not the first of its kind. We started out with two Baba and Dibangel in the days,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wizkid and Davido. There's
Even to
always,
tomorrow, yeah,
till
that's
tomorrow.
still
So,
on. Yeah.
we keep doing it. We had Reminisce and Vector one time in
Hmm.
culture, before the whole came together. So I think these things just bring more things. But the only thing we want to see is not a physical fight. What we want to see is, they should drop it for us. We should
Hmm.
see the best of each other, and we can defend.
They're actually both doing good,
Yeah, not bad,
in
not
my own
bad.
opinion. To be honest, Black Bones has got a hit with Ashake, the
Mm.
channel.
Yeah,
I think
Channel still
that's a
making it.
wonderful song.
Channel hit. I think Channel hit a whole new record a few days ago. If
Yeah.
I'm not bad, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
I think the new feat, the amount of the amount of streams Channel
Yeah.
has gathered her is a whole lot recently. So I think
And to be honest,
Odumodu is
Odumodu
not
Black
doing
on the
bad.
other hand as well.
Odumodu and Wizkid,
Yeah.
he's been making
Yeah.
rounds, and I think it's not a bad thing for both of them. That's what we want to see, the culture charge each other up, and deliver some good music to us.
Let's talk about this thing that has been on for about a week now. YC talking about the Olodo Uprising. This has, caused a lot of debate online, a lot of people reacting to it in different ways. What do you have to say about that?
That incident, we still have the incident on, because I think a couple of days ago, there was another content creator named Gilmore
Okay.
having to have been, in his own content, he was frying akara due to what the first lady mentioned about people frying akara and selling kulikuli. And
Okay.
a whole lot of Nigerian content creators have been doing one or two.
Mm-hmm.
Our culture, how we
Yeah.
take things out of context at times, and
I just take it off.
everybody just wants to
It's just
do
about
one or
cruise
two
in
things,
Nigeria,
you get. So I think Gilmore was frying akara in the video, but I think the message we are trying to pass at times really matters. when we do content, we should pass
Messages.
enlightening messages, and
Yeah.
try to make people aware and all of that. So I think, going back to what YC said, it depends on the view in which you see it from. We would all see it from a different view. And from my own view, I feel, the people that have been responding and has been saying much the most, I feel they feel attacked, they feel guilty. We are all humans, they feel like he's pointing to them in a particular way, and even mentioning Pella's name. YC said he wasn't sorry about it, because, come to think of it, nobody hates. I don't hate Pella
Mm-hmm.
personally. I don't
Yeah.
have anything to do with Pella, but just like I said earlier, the kind of content in which you promote at this time is quite important. We are not the only users of social media. We are
Yeah.
not the only
Yeah.
country doing making content.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to make good examples. You understand that we should cultivate learning from. Take a look at China. They have things, they have content they create in which makes you unpack.
It's
Daily life,
promotes their,
daily
yeah.
life. Daily life shortcuts. How you can do these things easily. How they try to pass on knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But on our own side, just like we mentioned, it's cruise and one of the videos I watched, in which, I think on Hex, where a guy called Big Mac was enlightening the media and the Nigerian community at large
Okay.
about what is being pushed down
Mm-hmm.
to our FYP
Yeah.
in the whole of Africa. How these algorithms are being controlled,
Mm-hmm.
and that, in a way, the knowledgeable contents, the ones that would enlighten us and will bring knowledge to us, will make us aware of a whole lot of things, are being dubbed down.
Mm-hmm.
We are not seeing such
Those
contents.
stuffs, yeah.
We are only seeing the kind of contents that gets us carried away from the whole thing happening in the world presently.
Mm-hmm.
How, where, and how we are meant to think, and where we should think to. So these things, when you come to take a look at these things too, for real, if you are in Africa and a whole lot, your FYP pushes down a whole lot of things that,
So negative mostly.
I wouldn't even call it negative. I wouldn't want to downplay some people's effort.
Okay.
But at this point, I would say things that are not necessary,
Mm-hmm.
things that are not needed. Instead of us having to think outside the box, I seen very educative content online. We don't see them any longer. Like, I want to compare it back to the days when, we had to watch on our television. We had to watch Milo Last Kid Standing. We had to
Mm-hmm.
watch Gouda Ultimate Search.
Yeah.
And the whole thing has been changed. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We're not getting all those things again. Now we are left the times where we had to watch TV. Most people don't even really watch TVs any longer
No,
now.
maybe,
We're on
yes.
their phones
Yeah.
now. So now, what are the kind of contents that we are passing down to people? Like the whole Olodo Uprising thing, that the kind of things that educate us, that we knew used to educate us while we were young.
Yeah.
Those kind of things are not being talked about now. They are not being emphasized on now.
Yeah.
We are now talking about, everything is all just about something that brings fun within a few minutes, and that's all.
Yeah.
Nothing educative, nothing you can even really think about.
Mhm.
So I think Pella happens to be in the midst of such a content community, because they are not the only ones making. So he happens to be in the center of it. In fact, I would say Pella looks like the face of it, and I think that was the reason why YC mentioned
Yeah.
the name. And taking a look at all these things, for real, we need the kind of things that will educate the next generation. Now, we should not be selfish and not make everything all about us. Now, think about the ones watching. There are young people watching your line. A whole lot of kids who don't even have phones pick their friends' phones, and they take a look at all these things. What are we imbibing in the coming generation? What are we trying to pass down? Because whatever it is today that will pass down is going to be our legacy tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what they will remember about.
Yeah.
So, do you want to be remembered doing stupid things?
For example, can you tell me what Kolu talks? Can you ever point a word or whatever you say?
What all this boils down to is the part where I say that the kind of things that gathers views, that gathers a whole lot of people together,
Yeah.
is all these stupid things. You know, acting funny, trying to act funny, because not all of them are being funny, but trying to act funny and stupid just so that you can get the views. They're all about the numbers. It's a numbers game. You understand? Being viewed and all of this is what all these guys are after. They are not after what it is that are making people view. How are these people seeing me? Well, why they were mentioning this Olodo Uprising, a whole lot of people were mentioning Akia Popo. Akia Popo, when you see them, they did funny things, not stupid things. That was why I was saying it was because they were funny.
Actors.
And they're actors, you understand? So but these people, content creators too. We can categorize some of them as actors too, because they act. It's not really what is going on.
And, you cannot compare. There are different.
I'm not comparing. That's what I'm trying to. That's the reason why I'm trying to say right now that I wouldn't see that. I don't see that as stupidity. I see that as fun. We have a whole lot of them. We have we had Mr. Ibu then, before he passed on, and all of that. But the whole lot of this is that they're passing a positive message.
Yeah.
Positive impact.
Moving forward from the uprising, Wandeko. Is Wandeko back?
WC.
Is he back? Because
Black Diamond.
Firstly, let's talk about the new release. He released, Baba just dropped his
album.
Latest album just 2 days ago, titled King Cole.
You get it.
Before this album, Baba has been, WCZ has been everywhere, man. From O'Shea with Wizkid, to this recent song with Quintiwa and Marvel.
Even there's another one with Benson and with Benson and who did I see was the Future?
There was Kenkele. There was a lot of songs.
No, apart from that, there's a new release with WC, Benson, and I think who's the third guy? There's a third artist on that song.
Oh, really?
It's a new release, and it's making waves. He's on his King Cole album, man, also featuring Weezy.
Let's talk about it. King Cole, is King Cole back?
Really, the album is when an album comes out like that, it takes time for the album to grow on us and people.
But to be honest, he has never missed.
Well, I would not say, depending on the kind of people who listen to him, but he has been a consistent household name, and that's a legend out there.
Legend.
You know what legends do. So they have their own fans that any day all day they drop, they have their own fans. But I'm looking up to King Cole. He has I would not say Wande Cole has never even left the music scene. He has always at least probably dropped a single, been featured, or him dropping an EP. So he's an household name, and I'll be expecting the album to do some numbers, but it takes time for the album to go on us and all of that. So.
What happened with this conversation whereby in Nigerian entertainment scene, there was never a time whereby Wandeko has ever come into the discussion of the big three or big five or whatever. There was never a time. Do you think Wandeko knocked about or given his credit the way he deals or the way he deserves?
I think I would not see Wandeko in that setting. You're saying probably big three. Wandeko is a legend. As I said, he's a king for real. He's a king. When you mention Wandeko, even the artists they recognize him as this is an OG. So when I say why I will not see Wandeko in that setting is because Wandeko is a little bit senior. Wandeko has we already listened to Wandeko. Wandeko has a lot of hit tracks, a lot of singles, and the album Motion to Moit as at 2009 was that was a crazy album out there. It did a whole lot of numbers, and looking at that album made a whole lot of it made
it broke a lot of records.
It broke a whole lot of records, streaming records. If we had all this streaming stuff as at that time, it was doing numbers. but it was the CD era and a whole lot of that. But even the CD era, he sold a whole lot. And Wandeko was the kind of person Wiz was looking up to then, because he saw him as a senior person. Both of them coming through some kind of mainland struggle, because
Yeah.
Wandeko is Mushin, and while
Sule.
Whiskey
Whiskey
is
was
Sule. So
Sule, yeah.
they really he kind of understood his concept and all of that. So he saw him as a senior brother. So that's why I said I wouldn't want to bring Wandeko. Wandeko looks like their senior, but during Wandeko's era, it was a two-faced Dibanj era, and we had a whole lot of senior artists too that were still doing good then. But regardless, Wandeko would also be a part, or would definitely be a part of that era, because there's no how you are mentioning the band, you are mentioning the Moit crew, you are mentioning Wandy definitely. In fact, as we didn't know, as some rumors or some part of truth will have it, he was doing most of the writing then at Moit and all of that before he fell out with the band, with Don Jazzy, and the later results the whole issue. So Wandeko has been on his own. He has been in his own league. I will not.
This thing that brought about this thing that strike conversation of Big Titty, which is about the selling out of arenas.
Yeah.
You see Wizkid saying he done do 2 or 3 times. The video coming to say ease, Burna Boy saying ease. Now the newbies are into that. Shout out to
Rema.
Ashake, Rema, Ruga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See this motion that the guys are moving, right? Do you see King Cole ever moving that motion? Like, maybe during the time of Mohit, and a bit time in Maven, when Baba was still there, was still, that one the code that we know, from when you hear the kick and blah blah blah, the
Yeah.
hit maker.
Yeah.
But then, did he at any time ever pull out any shows like that?
I don't think there's any in which I can remember clearly, but I don't know. Just like I said it now, I think Wande Cole is not the kind of person today that would not be able to sell out arenas. He's got the talent, he's got the vibe,
Mhm.
he's got the songs. So, but we don't know why we're not seeing him do, even if it's the smaller O2 arena, where I think Wande
Okay.
Cole can definitely sell out.
Indigo, you mean?
Yeah, Indigo. Wande Cole can sell those out, because even the Sheyi vibes, them
Yeah.
the coming, the coming generation after them, and they are doing numbers in UK. And even Fola did a show recently. So I feel Wande Cole can do better than those ones. I just don't know if he hasn't tried that. But I would like to see Wande Cole. Wande Cole has what it takes. He has the music. Baba needs to get this message. I feel
Well,
he can sell out.
The Wizkid tweeted album just few days ago, and again Davido as well, and all of a sudden announces the date for his next coming album, which is the Oriade album, dropping on the 31st of July. I mean, these guys, the way they are moving this year.
Those guys actually, honestly, they look like the Messi and the Ronaldo of the Nigerian internet, or the Nigerian the music industry.
Yeah.
They are not relenting anytime soon.
No.
Just like the way Messi, we keep begging Messi and Ronaldo now to retire.
Yeah.
Just because somehow they look like they want to go.
Seems like no one is breaking their records. They keep breaking
their own records.
Yeah.
So when you see people like David and Wiz, I saw the Wiz announcement, and I'm looking up to great things. I think there's a track being dropped today.
Yeah.
With Georgia Smith. I saw an announcement yesterday. They saw them together in
today,
France.
yes.
So I'm trying to look up, look out for it too, and just like I said, they are both big giants. They know what is expected of them. So that's how I think they know the game better. They know what is expected of them, and they always want to they always want to try to give us the best, evolve, and try to see how they can connect with us in a different way, in our own different worlds. So I think I'm expecting something good, but the thing is, we keep comparing, and we should just do more of listening. Everybody in
Yeah,
their
just
own
enjoy the
world. Just
vibe.
enjoy the vibe.
Yeah.
For me, I just want to listen to some good music. There's nothing like big
But
three. There's
I
not.
just feel
I
like
just want
without
to
the
listen to good.
banter, man, the numbers wouldn't come. I mean, the more we talk about it, the more they get their numbers.
Yeah, even today is Burna Boy's birthday too. You can't
Yeah,
talk
happy
about
birthday,
Wiz.
Damini.
You can't talk about but you can't talk about David and Wiz and not talk about Burna. But just like I said, they are all in their own leagues. Burna is in his own league. I would not
Odogu,
like to mention or
yeah.
say, oh, in their own way, but Burna Boy is doing his thing. See the way Burna is selling out stadiums. See the involvement. See the live band performances, the way it started, how they are taking it now. They are promoting Afrobeat in a very good way. And this is Afrobeat season, if you should ask me, because these guys are doing numbers.
Okay, do
Ashake
you
is
know
doing
what?
numbers.
You
A
know what?
lot of
Yeah,
the guys.
Ashake dropped. We're not really because Ashake's album has passed.
Yeah.
Ashake has dropped an
Well, I
album
wouldn't
this
say it has
year.
passed. Ashake's numbers, Ashake's songs
Album
on his album
with
are still
money.
making numbers.
Yeah,
They're still
money
making numbers. At
albums.
least
Yeah.
a few of his tracks are, at least they're out there in the first 20 tracks out in Nigeria right now. They're still jamming the music,
Yeah.
still playing the music.
Yeah.
People still singing. Back to back, and that's why I said he's doing numbers right now. I just think, oh, probably be resting before he starts going on tour, and he seems to have announced
It's actually
tour dates.
announced, yes,
He has
he
announced
has given
tour
an
dates,
announcement, so his dates,
so
yeah.
we're looking out to what the numbers he'll be doing out there. But what we all know right now is that Ashake is doing very good. And for the Afrobeat, is repping Nigeria out there in a very massive way.
I mean, this past weekend, did you see Rema? Rema and I think it was Rema, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Rema. I
Yeah,
saw Rema in a show, like a
yeah,
fest.
yeah.
Was singing, and people were singing along.
Yeah.
These guys they're doing good. I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for us as well, because anyhow in which they choose to represent us depends on how we are being seen as a country and as people.
Now the award thing in Nigeria. Oh, I mean, do you think there's any award in Nigeria right now that could actually be fitted to the way our artists as en masse? Like, the records that they're broken, how they become so big. Do you think any award organization in Nigeria is doing enough to actually appreciate our artists?
Um, that's I love that question, because when we take a look at it, yeah, there are quite a few of those in the music industry doing that. We've known Eddie's to have done that in the past, and it seems to be like one of the most recognized awards in Nigeria right now. But over the years, I don't know, due to some things, probably due to how the awards people feel the awards been uh have not been well decided. So it has drawn backlash from the whole industry and people listening, when probably they are fan, or they feel like the right person is not getting the right regard. So it has pulled back that award. Personally, that's pulled back the crowd, that's pulled back the consistency over the years and all of
I
that.
mean, I
So
felt ever since the advent
but
of
there's Sound City again, there's
yeah.
Sound City Award Fest to going down. But we don't know if the shutdown of Sound City will be affecting the award this time around.
The
We don't know.
shutdown?
Yeah, shutdown. Sound City has been shut down.
Really?
They stopped. Yeah,
Man, I'm just hearing that now.
Sound City has stopped. They stopped broadcasting, so
Wow.
we don't know if Sound City will still be able to do the award. But just like I said, the Nigerian music industry, I think they really need to do something on that part, because now if anything is not done, and Eddies, they say they are taking the next Eddies to Canada, but Eddies needs to they need to come up with the shows. I don't see
But do
why
you think
awards on from our soil will be taken outside of our country.
That is something to
This
really,
thing is for our people. It is not being. I don't think is even recognized in the countries in which they are taking these awards to. And I don't see the BET or the Grammys award
Bringing
being
it to
taken
Nigeria.
down to Africa or any of these countries. I
Yeah.
don't think it has ever been done. The MTVs and all of it. So I think them trying to take this award outside of this country is even part of the things that is making people lose the
Interest.
interest in it. Trying to, because lately I think they have not been up to game, and I think that is what they will have just worked on better, giving us a very good decision from whatever it is, being the voting, being the panelists judging, the listeners as well. They need to listen to people, because they cannot judge from just their view alone, but from the fans of this artist and all of that, how the music have been making numbers, and neglecting the farming culture in which they have grasped lately. Everybody's trying to
Farm.
promote their craft and all of that, and they seeing that it's a numbers game. So I think Eddie's really needs to do something. They are the household name in which we have known in the music industry, and of late they have been below par for me. My own opinion, they have been below par. They have not really done well. Taking this award to the United States or to Canada does not make us even focus more. Bring it down, make it in our base. It just seems like they are trying to attract the ones that are outside the country. When they make those awards, I think Whiskey stopped attending the award shows in a couple of years. Maybe they are trying to draw this kind of attention, but this is not the kind of thing we need. I think Bona also stopped going for the awards, because they have not regarded this award. They felt cheated from this award several times and all of it.
Yeah.
So I think Eddie's needs to do better. They need to draw the people closer. We don't have any other award promoting our artists and our people, making them feel recognized. They don't have to wait till it is BET, it is MTV. Yes, we want it for them, but we don't have to wait till it is BBC or it's MTV before we celebrate our home people. And this is also it is also not going to encourage the upcoming artists to want to do well when there's not something celebrating them in their own base, even before the outside world is getting to know them.
Yeah.
So I think Eddie's needs to do better, and make sure these things are well curated, the decision being based on what it is they feel is right, and try to encourage the people to believe in the award, and also the artists, so that they can always impute this, and we can always promote Afrobeat through our own spectrum, through our own stations, through our own broadcasting systems. People that really see us, not that we wait for MTV to choose who is the MTV so person of the year, whereas they are not even the listeners of this music. We are the listeners of this music. We should be the one to judge, not them. So they should be judging through our own perspective, through how we see this music, through how we listen to this music, how this music speaks to us. You will not expect somebody who doesn't know how Ojo Elegba looks, or who how Port Harcourt looks.
Yeah.
From you wouldn't know. But if you have not visited for real, Bona has spoken about his community. He has sang about Port Harcourt. Whiskey has sang about Surulere. Ojo Elegba and all of it. These struggles are not being seen by the people outside. They are being seen by the people inside. So I think there should be something promoting us and our culture. Our sound is already out there in the world. There should be a way we are tagging along with this energy to make our artists seen in the international world. And so with this, it would even improve the level of the kind of artists we promote in the music industry, and it will be helpful for the upcoming artists to also be able to get their sound outside there.
There's a lot going on in the entertainment industry, and we are here to talk about it. Until we see you again,
See you next time.
keep watching the Roadman Show.